with Francis Crossman, and he's going to tell us some of the new exciting news that Adobe has in store for us for this NAB. I was privileged to get a little peek, but maybe you'll just tell them so I don't have to do it inaccurately.
Sure, thanks Mark. Well, thanks for coming by. So we've been really hard at work over the last year at Adobe, and we've been really doubling down on the reliability and the speed of the product. And we're happy to say that this release is the most reliable and the fastest version of Premiere we've ever shipped. We've achieved this by, of course, fixing bugs and GPU accelerating stuff, but also by giving you little things that are going to help you get your work done faster and little things to help you troubleshoot. So an example of that would be we have a new reset option, so you can hold down a keyboard shortcut during launch and you can perform common troubleshooting tasks like resetting your preferences or resetting the media cache, those sorts of things. And
nice.
In an upcoming release, we'll also be shipping a plugin manager as well, so that you can deal with naughty plugins that might be causing some instability. But we've also been really listening to our users and giving them the things that they're asking for, little things that are really going to improve your workflow. And so an example of that might be the ability to drag your mouse across multiple track targets and turn multiple tracks on and off. So if you got like a bunch of tracks and you want to turn off the eyeball to turn off the visibility, you can just hold down Command, drag your mouse across it, turn them all off at once. These are things that editors have been asking us for, and we've listened and we've delivered.
Is the new version out yet for release, or do we have to wait until after NAB?
So the features that I just talked about are already in the release, but the big thing that we're announcing here, which is still in beta, is text-based editing.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I saw that in a press preview, and for some of my clients that do a lot of lectures and conferences, and they want to do highlight things, and like, oh, we need to find where he said our product is the greatest in the world. You can now just search our product is the greatest in the world, and it'll just take you to that spot.
That's
correct?
Right. It's an entirely new way to edit. You're exactly right. So what you can do is bring in clips, and we're going to automatically transcribe them. We support 17 languages, and that transcription can happen on device. It does not need an internet connection, and it happens quickly in the background. So if you bring in a lot of clips into your project, we'll queue them up, and it doesn't interrupt your editing. But once you have that transcript, you can use that text to navigate, search for words like you were explaining, get that soundbite, and then edit it into your sequence. And we use common keyboard shortcuts that you probably already know, so like the comma key for doing an insert edit works the same in text-based editing. And then once you have those sound bites in your sequence, shift over to the sequence, the transcript will continue to inspect the sequence, and you can do things like cut, copy, and paste. Just cut the text, move the playhead somewhere else in the transcript, hit paste, and it rearranges the clips on the timeline, and you've performed that edit using the text entirely. We can also detect pauses and filler words, and you can just click on those, they're represented by 3 little dots, and just delete them, and it'll do a ripple delete.
So a lot of times I'll be working with either a new actor or somebody who's not used to being on camera, and you got a lot of ums.
Yeah.
So you can like search for
So here's what it's going to do. So it's going to be represented as 3 dots, and what 3 dots means is it's either a pause where there's silence, or you said something that's not quite a word. It's a verbal sort of disfluence, you know? So and these sort of things happen all the time in interviews, and it always helps to find those, trim them out, and compress time. And then of course you're going to need to fix up that edit, so you can do that, of course, traditionally, put some B-roll on top to cover it up. But if you're shooting multicam with multiple, you know, more than one camera, text-based editing supports multi-camera editing as well. So you could load up your multicam in there and use the transcript, and then once you have those cuts, switch to a different camera angle.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, doing a lot of lectures, educational stuff, you know, this is going to be like, I have clients that will go gaga over this.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
well, I'll tell you, I was an editor for 10 years before coming to Adobe. I did a lot of dialogue editing, interviews and behind the scenes documentary type stuff, a lot of the work that we do is dialogue driven. And I can't tell you how many hours I spent with that workflow. You know, you would get the footage in, and then you'd have to get it transcribed. Either you literally sit down and transcribe it yourself, or you send it off to a service. And there are some fantastic services out there, but the turnaround time takes a while, and that's also an additional cost.
Right.
So having this built right into the product is something that, gosh, I wish I had that when I was editing professionally, because it would have saved me hours.
Yeah, I'm just thinking how well that will work for news, the legal field. When you have legal videographers, looking for something in a court case that they've recorded. Now that's going to be pretty amazing. To just like, where did the guy say he put the knife under the seat, and boom.
Yeah, right. Or like, how many times does this happen to you? You're working on a piece, and you hope for a soundbite. Like you wish that they said this. You're pretty sure they said this, but you're not quite sure. So then you shuttle through the footage. You don't hear it. You shuttle through it again. You don't hear it.
Yes.
But you think that maybe you're just missing it. So with searching the transcript, you can know immediately, yes, they said it, no, they didn't, and you can move on.
Or if you're really creative, you can make them say it.
Well, our workflow doesn't support
No?
that. No. You can't change what people are saying. Of course, you can imagine there's all sorts of ethical complications with that.
Yes,
you know?
of course. But I've had things where somebody messed up something in a script, and using creative things, we rearranged the words. Not for a court case.
Yeah.
This is for something creative.
Well,
we had this. Somebody said something completely. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think I had one case where the actors said the actor's real name instead of the character's name, and we had to look for that and chop that out and take another thing and
so that
kind of fudge
is
that.
actually a really good example of what this workflow is great for. Is you can imagine if you're chopping stuff up and doing a Frankenbite, as we call it, you might want to use a phrase, but they end with a vocal inflection that doesn't sound like the end of a thought.
Right.
Like they go up at the end. And so you can find other examples of them saying that word in the transcript, and maybe one of them has a better inflection and you can use it.
Yeah, swap that in.
Yeah. So that is a good example of a workflow that we do support, which is great.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, and that is available now?
It's coming in May.
May?
So it's in beta right now.
Okay.
You can try it out in beta. Beta is open to anyone with a Creative Cloud subscription. And you can install the beta side by side with your standard shipping build.
Yeah, I have a client I know I'm going to send right to that. She's also a Creative Cloud member. What she does is she does a rough cut of things, very rough cut, and she sends it over to me, and this is going to make her a very happy person.
It's going to make a lot of people very happy. I mean, we think that it's going to be really beneficial for seasoned professionals to accelerate their workflow, but also potentially for like producers and editors who are not editors by trade, but they want to go in and look at the transcript, and you could imagine sitting a producer down and say, okay, here's the transcript, highlight the text you want, and when you find something you want, hit comma, it'll insert it into the sequence, and then they could actually do that traditional paper cut in Premiere, saving everyone time.
Now the only thing we have to do is have the ability to type the stuff into Premiere and have the actors say it. Coming soon?
No, sadly no.
Darn.
Again, that's one of those ethical considerations.
Well, you have AI characters.
Imagine the malice that you could do.
Oh yeah, I've seen, I worked for a company doing some editing, and we did a show about the technology back in, I think it was 2016, about a German software company that, all they had to do was sample somebody's voice for about 20 minutes, and they could render their lips saying anything and do the audio to make anything.
Yeah.
Any sort of
These are concerning things, and Adobe takes the viewpoint with AI that everything must be ethical.
Yes.
right? Everything must be, you know, in service of the greater good, and we don't want our tools to be used for creating deepfakes. So we're
That's
very
good.
concerned with that.
Yeah, everybody's got to be concerned about that, because even even horrible fakes, I would call them shallow fakes, are being passed off. And too much chaos is being caused in the world by misrepresented media.
It's the same approach we're taking with our new generative AI product that we're working on called Firefly. You can do text to image, so you can type in something and it'll generate an image. But what's different about our approach is that the training data that we used is all licensed. So it's all royalty free, and we're not infringing on anyone's intellectual property, which means that you can use it for commercial purposes. And also, we're not stealing from artists.
Right.
So Adobe takes this stuff very seriously.
That's good to hear, because so many people do not.
Yeah.
We have to have some people in the world standing up and for artists and for just getting the truth out there. And, neutering those people who are just trying to fake stuff. It's causing so many problems in the world. But.
And we also have a thing we call the Content Authenticity Initiative, which allows you to attribute provenance to an image which says that this is real. You can actually look in the metadata and see what was used to generate it. Was AI used to generate this image?
Yeah, that's a whole other topic, but a few years ago I did a conference for forensic video, and we had somebody from LAPD speaking about how they check video and audio footage for edits and things like that, and it was so interesting. Metadata is so important to have a tool to do that easily. A lot of people don't have the resources that LAPD does.
Sure.
And you need something.
Yeah. But we really hope that people are going to love the features that we're putting into Premiere. Text-based editing is, of course, the hero feature, but there's a lot of other really good stuff in this release. And thanks for dropping by.
Well, thank you, and I'll be giving Premiere Pro's latest update a chance as soon as I get back from the show. I'm actually going to be editing this in Premiere Pro, so we will let you know how it goes. Thanks again for talking to us here at NAB.